and gentlemen, it is still the Lee Sin band, still the Swain band. Nothing crazy, nothing new coming out in that regard.
It's been pretty status quo right now. Kazak's going to be banned out by SFU. They're still focusing on Boyru. There's the Kaisa ban, though.
Yeah, no, and it's actually coming out. Makoto saying, hey, we don't want them picking this. Get it off the table early.
Right, it's first pick over to SFU. They want to be able to take that one off. See if they can fall back on something else. We've seen Zaya 2 games in a row by Erase. No, he's played Severe first game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So, yeah, this is going to be a Zach banned out. So there's still, SFU still going with that focus Boyru. Going to try to make that into a meme pretty soon with how much they're playing that one up, but they are going to lock in the Zaya.
Third game in a row that they've drafted it at the top of their order.
Yeah, that is going to be more than likely a Rakan going to that bot side unless Regis decides to pick that one up. But with that being said, it is so easy to counter a Rakan combination if you know what they're playing into. Makoto is going to be falling back onto that Severe this time around. Boyru maybe locking in that Kane once again.
You know, I would be interested. The Kane, not the best in the world for him last game, but had its moments this time around taken off as well. Not something that they're going to be able to come into this one with. So, honestly, some low light points of their composition redrafted here from the University of British Columbia. We'll see now what Simon Fraser decides to answer with, because jungle option, support option, the Rakan is as well still on the table. But Skarner was through, and they knew it worked out for him last time. They're going to pull that one back again, rehash it, and see if they can continue to capture that lightning in a bottle.
They're actually going with their game number 1 comp all around. They have Zoe, they have Skarner now, and they have Zaya. A lot of lockdown, a lot of mobility, and not to mention the pick potential that Skarner and Zoe offer. That is what won SFU game number 1. They're looking to repeat that, get into the finals. This is game number 3. They have no chances left after this.
All comes down to it. Last pick coming up now. We'll see what they do decide. Or last pick before the top of the order. It is Anivia
that was
picked up.
That was banned out last time around. This time they are going to give that one over to Luminous. He's played 3 different champions in that mid lane. Katarina the first game against Zoe. It worked out early on. Did not really scale too well into the mid game for him after that pick started coming out. Anivia, a great answer to the run-in-your-face pick potential. You throw up a wall, give him an obstacle run around, anticipate it, and then work from there.
Yeah, definitely a better pickup than the Katarina,
yeah.
I feel like. And now the Rakan banned out. Keep in mind, last time around in the first game, Rakan was the second pick. They saved Skarner for the last pick on blue side, UBC. So it's actually going to be the first game that we're going to see set Navrikon that is not a Rakan. So interesting to see what they're going to choose out of that one. But obviously still do have the ban phase to complete here. That means Aelith will be picking something out of that one. Darius, something he does not want to go up against on Mirror Knight in the top lane. No huge surprises there.
Mirror Knight's played Shen twice in a row, but the Darius was banned away game number 2. As Mirror Knight does like that Darius, does like the aggression that the top laner brings, and also adds, adds to that run in your face factor. That's something that UBC have not been bringing. But speaking of which, they do ban out a Malphite. They don't want to have any sort of big engage coming out from SFU, so they're going to take that one off the table as well.
I like trying to shoehorn Aelith onto that Cho'Gath, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been twice in a row thus far.
Don't want to play in the Malphite. Don't want that anywhere near him. They banned Camille in game number 1. They banned Swain as well consistently, which is a flex in the top lane, and Vladimir Trundle's out of the table too. So this time, actually, Trundle did make it through, but neither jungler seeming to prioritize that one. Is Alistair maybe the last pickup for this rotation on UBC, and totally down to the last pick now as it's Braum and Camille locked in for SFU.
That is a huge power in the top side. Aelith going to go on to a lot more of an aggressive champion than the Cho'Gath, a lot more of a split-pushing champion than the Cho'Gath as well. Camille able to duel out quite a few of the champions in League of Legends, and they're going to have that 2-tank priority with the jungle and the Braum, the Skarner and the Braum. They're going to answer back on UBC with the Jax in the top side.
That is interesting to me. Jax top for Mirror Knight against a Camille. Now, Jax can really have a field day in this matchup if things go well for him, but Jax not necessarily known as the safest top laner, and we saw what UBC can do to that top lane if they set their minds to it. A 5-man roaming death squad, no different this time with Zoe and Zaya still the core of this. Only more damage now out of the pockets of Camille, so a lot to consider here. And now maybe if they can continue to shut down Mirror Knight and just make life a little tough for this guy, there are a lot of places, a lot of very exploitable positions for the University of British Columbia here.
Yeah, this is one of the issues with British Columbia is they don't have much of a tank, of a front line. They have a dive in your face, I'm going to kill you.
Alistair.
They have Alistair. That's about it. Now, with that being said, Regis, he took so much damage last game. Big playmaker, especially around that Baron pit, might be enough for them. But they still don't have that much to really work with as far as initiation besides the Alistair's headbutt pulverize. They have to sort of, just outright duel people. They have a lot of power on the team of UBC. A split push, of course, with Jax, but Camille answers that one back pretty well. I still think the catch of SFU that they displayed in game number 1 is going to be a huge factor here.
Looking at these drafts, they're so odd comparatively to what we normally see that this is really hard to break down. I think it's the likes of the Zoe in the mid lane, the Jax in the top. It's just an unconventional pick here and there. Obviously, Siver's been coming into a little bit more form, and besides that, nothing too crazy, but it's just processing and breaking down these two compositions. It's not as clear-cut as what we see everywhere else in League of Legends, where you can just look at the compositions and go, oh, breaks down this way. Yeah, this team did such a better job mind-gaming the draft. They're both bringing in so many weird mind-game additions that I think it keeps it very fresh. It keeps people on their toes, and we've seen 2 really good games of League of Legends. A third one looking to be promising here as well. A lot of potential for greatness here, as it's now just one single game between today and tomorrow, between the semifinals and a shot at the Grand Finals trophy and being the first ever JV1 winner in League of Legends.
This is game number 3 between these two, SFU versus UBC. They have a lot on the line right now. Want to go back to the team comps just a little bit here. We have Camille, we have Skarner in the jungle, and Camille on the top side for SFU. One thing I really like about that is that Camille can pop down the Hextech Ultimatum, keep Jax Mirror Knight inside that for a little bit. He can't get out no matter what. He can't jump out either. Django, if he's up there, doesn't have to impale immediately, but gives him
a lot of time.
A lot of time, but also gives him the area he needs to impale, so Mirror Knight can't get away. So be able to. It's almost Hextech Ultimatum is almost like a pseudo CC. While you're not really like crowd controlling anybody, you are locking them into one area. So if you can outright duel the Jax as a Camille, you don't need to CC him. You just need to keep him in place for one moment, keep him from escaping, and that way Django can go up, alt, impale, make sure to get a nice death on the top side.
You certainly buy a lot of time for yourself in that way. So as we are ticking down, getting ready in the last little bits of the delay here, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some announcements and some shout-outs to our sponsors that we do want to share with you all. My name is Kyle Corvus-Crow, joined by Joshua Fekes Quest. We're coming to you live from Huntington Beach, and there are a couple key people that are very important in keeping us online and doing this event here for you all today. Big one, obviously, Twitch TV. It's where you're watching right now. I want to say nothing but gratitude to the largest streaming platform in all of competitive gaming to support our collegiate esports endeavors. From events like PAX East and West, or now here in Huntington Beach, the CSL Grand Finals. We would not be what we are today without their continued help and support. So be on the lookout for cool ways to get involved with Twitch in the near future. Twitter.com/Twitch, Facebook.com/Twitch. I want to give a huge shout out to Juice Battery there. Lasts 6 times as long, charges twice as fast. They got some charging stations around here. They've been a big key sponsor throughout, and we're so excited to have them on our team. JuiceBattery.com to find out a little bit more information about how you can always stay charged up, ripped, and ready to go. And last but not least, I want to give a huge shout out to iBuyPower. Those guys are excellent. They've done so much in terms of getting us the necessary PCs here to continue our just LAN event, and we have the Open tournament for the Fortnite and the CS:GO and League of Legends computer stations, all thanks to them. So huge shout out to iBuyPower as well. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are in game.
This is game number 3, best of 3. So this is it, Corvus. This is it's going to be down. Hold on, we already have a flash though. Luminous.
Yeah, they're looking to
going aggressive.
Make some early plays pretty quickly there. We saw it in the first game. Burnout get the information and try to find the kill. This time around, not going to be potentially a result of anything more besides the early flash coming out of Luminous there. It's a pretty big one, but look at Aleph actually there, forcing the pulverize out early from Regis, and Drowsy's going to happen as well. They want this level 1. The Braum passive is applied,
Oh
and
my
that is
gosh.
death. That's going to be first blood coming out for Zoe. Shea Shimmy, man. That's a big takeaway.
Mirror Knight was not there. Mirror Knight decided not to join the rest of UBC. He stayed on the top side.
Oof.
And now look at him. He's going to go place, looks like a ward down in the jungle side of SFU just to scout out where he's going to go, maybe looking to gank that later on.
Yeah, it does get at least a little bit of information on the return. We saw Boyroof, some very strong early game jungles, but Aleph says, speaking of early game jungles, how you doing, buddy? Here's my friend Shimmy, and forcing the flash. That's 3 flashes down now in the first 2 minutes for the University of British Columbia, and Simon Fraser are not messing around.
It's a rough start for University of British Columbia. They are on the back foot. They have the pressure on them right now, especially in this early going, considering how much they've given up over to SFU. 1 kill thus far. The only one that didn't actually affect, by the way, is Erase. Erase doesn't have any, did not get an assist on that one, but the kill did go over to Shimey, which is going to be huge for him because you want that burst to come online as much as possible. So see more aggression on that bot side. It looks like the bot side of SFU are just going to pressure Makoto as much as possible.
They know they can, yeah. He doesn't have the summoner heal, and there's no flash on his support.
Right.
So the trades are going to go in the favor of Erase every single time here. I love it. I love the pressure that they're building and the chance they can really make something happen for themselves here.
As we do see more going on in that bot side. That is something that we need to focus on, by the way. This mid lane, there is no flash or heal for Luminous. He used both of those.
Yeah.
Luminous is a big target right now. Thankfully, it happened early on. Didango, he doesn't have Impale to use or anything of the sort to be able to gank out in the mid lane. Of course, Luminous, he does have, he's on a Nivea, does have that egg to fall back on. That is something really nice also if you're going against a bursty champion like a Zoe, is that you have that backup. A lot of people, they build, as we get into a pause here.
Yeah, there we go.
They build actually
3 for 3.
Yeah, 3. A lot of people going against champions like Zoe, they'll build into a Guardian Angels early just to keep away from the burst death that Zoe is able to dish out. Sleepy Travel Bubble, the Paddle Star,
right?
Insta kill almost onto a very squishy target. Guardian Angels protects against that. But Luminous doesn't need that, has the egg in his arsenal.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty massive for him, especially as, both those early summoners down. Doesn't want to get into a position. The egg going to be so helpful for him, and it's really a race at this point to see if they can get those summoners burned again or get Didango to level 6 before he's going to have the summoners off cooldown, because that's going to be really their big kill condition for themselves, picking that one up out and away.
I don't think he's going to be level 6, so they might just have to blow those once more. But they do have a lot to work with. And remember, Skarner, yeah, he does have the Impale, but he also still has a stun outside of that.
Yeah.
If you have enough damage with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble in the mid lane, you can still at least get that egg out of the Anivia, of Luminous, and make her a little bit more vulnerable in that mid side.
Speaking of Luminous, has reconnected, so hopefully this all does resolve before too long. And if not, well, we're here to keep you company, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. This is Joshua Fekes Quest. I'm sure if you've been watching all day, you've heard those names over and over and over again. And that's okay, because get used to it. We're here all weekend.
Tomorrow, today, forever.
Forever. Well, no, I fly back Monday.
Yeah, I fly back Monday too.
Okay.
And actually, it'll be the end of the season. This is the end of the season. This is the finals. That's why we're in Southern California. We're in the finals right now.
Yeah.
Both these teams are playing for quite a bit on the line right now.
Yeah, I mean, $10,000 around this tournament, and that is just a lot. That puts a big old target on it, and especially for a JV, school. Some people that thought, you know what, maybe it's I work hard, I get into the main roster eventually. Now, hey, there's a little. You're not just playing to get onto the main roster. There's a light at the a reward for all your hard work.
And I also want to talk about that on the staff part of Collegiate League of Legends. If you're any of these schools, you're being represented on a grander scale.
Yes.
There's a lot of kids going to college every year. Obviously, every year that choose colleges based on their interests, based on what they can major in. But also some of them, a lot of them, the athletes, based on what kind of athletics program they have. If they have an esports program, it might be something that sways them. And that is one of the biggest selling points of the esports program, collegiate esports, for any sort of school, is being able to build that program up and get enrollments up every year for that. That is something that is huge for these. So collegiate, obviously, varsity teams, you guys they get represented all the time, but JV, they're also being represented as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the whole tide is rising, and it's bringing all boats up with it at this point in
small
the
and
collegiate
large
scene. It's lovely to see, and so yeah, it's good for everybody here involved, especially just for us to be able to take some time to celebrate some of these JV guys. I know we had it kind of throughout in our regular season, but it was never really the focal point. So it's great to have this event, you know, for them just to focus in on it. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're back into game. Only 3 minutes in before this pause landed, but it's enough time for Didango to know that he wants to get a gank off in the top lane, and forcing the flash out of Mirror Knight.
Oh,
they're going to be able to flash in for this one. Hops out with the counter strike, and will likely be. You don't dive a tower level 4. Back that one off, Didango. This is, yeah, bad news. Not anything that you want to be.
Boyru's up there to counter as well. He's going to be backing off there.
Not too worried about the early cane, I wouldn't think, but they're feeling okay here, just trying to make a little bit more potentially for themselves. Here's the bottom lane, but might break out in the fight before too long. They got the trades. They got a little bit of aggression. You can just see Erase and Set Maverick look a little squirrely around these keys. They're trying to find a way to get in and make something happen for themselves.
Still pretty even on that bot side. The farm is actually was essentially even. There was some pressure going on early on by SFU. They had Makoto and Reggie's pushed up into the turret, but everything's been equalized thus far. Of course, Severe very good at clearing waves, pushing back.
Ooh, that's a root up for Makoto. This is dangerous, actually.
They're going
flash
for it.
out, they flash back in, and Set Maverick finds it on the tick end of things. And that's a pretty big takeaway now for Simon Fraser University. 2 kills up for themselves. And that's just gotta feel good.
That was the ignite from Set Maverick. So he's able to get a kill onto his side as well as an assist over to Erase. Something he missed earlier with that level 1. It is interesting, by the way. Set Maverick, he does have the Relic Shield, but he also has minion dematerializers. I expect him to be saving a couple of those into the late game whenever the Baron is starting to be contested, because one of the biggest issues anybody has with the Baron is that cannon minion being empowered, and might be seeing a banner command come out as well. We haven't seen it in any of these 3 games, by the way, or in either of the games thus far. Banner command has been so pivotal in the meta, but hasn't made its way here in today yet. But if it does come out, I expect Set Maverick to be holding on to that one, as we have Boyru possibly getting caught out here.
Yeah, they want to find Boyru. He gets out of the wall, but not at the best angle. Means they can continue this one. The blast cone not quite there, but does find it on the edge of it. So pretty big escape there. Boyru going to be feeling okay. That means Rift Scuttler and a little bit of vision priority around this dragon. The Infernal Drake, nonetheless, first one of the series. He's going to be in the hands of Simon Fraser.
That is going to be a big power stroke into the mid game, as that Infernal Drake, it's not necessarily powerful early on, but it gets more powerful as the items are accumulated. But that's just going to be vision being thrown around there. There's not anything being contested just yet. As we see Luminous throw down some of the damage on to Shimey in the mid side. Set Maverick is going to be protecting his ADC. It is interesting. So Braum, he did get a little bit of a nerf on patch 8.8. His stand beside me is not, stand behind me rather, is not as powerful early on. It actually got nerfed quite a bit. I think by 10
range units.
Yeah, no, 10 resistances. Brought that down. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I think it gives both magic and armor, I believe. Magic resist and armor. So it reduced it quite a bit. Got it nerfed. He's still going to be able to play that one because he's still a tank. He still reduces, has the shield still reduces a lot of damage being thrown at him, as you see the dragon being started by Boyru.
Yeah, it's something that they want to find for themselves. It is the Infernal Drake. It is here early. But we'll see whether or not it's able to be scouted out. I think Boyru is still a little weak, just level 5 as the Kane. Soloing out the Drake, especially when you know that there are some potential interloping enemy champions. Not anything that you want to get yourself caught in the middle of. It potentially is another rundown. They want to find Regis here. They're going to get him down to about half health, and the Pulverize not going to do a whole hell of a lot there for getting him out. Have to back off of that one, and they're keeping the health damaged up, at the mana, especially of Makoto, pretty low there. And so between these guys, There's a lot to consider and a lot going well for SFU in that bottom lane.
And this is the time that SFU need to be looking at that, because they can go for the Drake, which is what they're doing right now. Now that Regis is out, that is a big priority of CC away from UBC. They're able to focus in onto this Infernal Drake. Yeah, Boyaru is privy to it, but if they can take that down fast enough before Regis gets there, that means they can have priority over that Drake, but they're actually going to focus on the mid lane.
Luminous. He missed the flash. That is bad news for the Anivia. They're going to maybe get a kill out of that one through the egg. Mirror Knight trying to save it, but Erase finds the kill. Didango's life in some serious trouble now. Does go down to Boyru. Now Set Maverick trying to turn something around, but did not. Instead, just decided to be a little bit safe and shiny, a little cheeky on the edge of that one. Going to throw one out, pop right back in. Not too worried.
As we see a lot more focus on that mid lane right now, coming out from both sides.
Ooh, flash in, and the Sleepy Trouble Level does not connect.
It wasn't her actual flash, that was a summoner, the Spell Thief flash that she took.
Yep.
So he's gonna still have that flash up pretty soon. As we also saw, I think that was the Hextech Proto Belt coming out as well.
They really want this kill.
Yeah, that's a lot of priority focus on the cow when they could just be farming and pushing into the mid lane, taking some, putting some damage onto that mid lane turret.
Maybe it's Burger Night.
I hope so for their sake, because there's a lot of focus onto that one.
Did you ever see the movie Heavyweights, the Disney Channel
Oh
original?
man, yeah.
Scene where they're all chasing the cow in the field.
Yeah. I don't remember that. Are you talking about the movie with Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're all like hiding out in the field, and then they all get up and chase this. Like they try to kill a cow with hockey sticks.
Speaking of cow, here comes a scorpion.
Okay, yeah, that's the Hextech Ultimatum thrown down. This is exactly what you were talking about in the
Don't
picks
even
and
need
bans.
the impale with that much damage, though.
Didango is just ready to pull in the support, get another kill down, stretch it up 4-1 now. It's about a 2K gold lead, and that's feeling really good for the likes of Simon Fraser. It's going to be, again, a Dragon trade-off. They know this. It's the priority. They keep switching out and keep trying to take the kill and the tower in the top lane. That's okay when it's a Mountain Drake. An Infernal Drake, it's a little bit tougher of a sell for me.
It is a little bit more of a trade-off for sure. And again, that's going to come into effect a lot more in the mid-game whenever these items start being built. But they are going to get that first tower gold, so they're going to put themselves into a little bit more of an advantageous position as far as gold is concerned. Which, that being said, they have 4 kills to 1. It's actually almost a 4K gold lead for UBC, which is...
Yeah, with that tower, that's pretty wild.
That's quite a big spread, especially early on. That 4K gold is felt even more than it would be at, say, 20, 25 minutes.
You're right.
At 10 minutes, that's an item, and that is an advantage in the lane.
Look at this. Both teams came to play today. Simon and Fraser shaking their loss off okay and building the early momentum for the first time throughout really this entire series. They did not have it in game number 1 despite their win. They did not have it in game number 2, ergo their loss. Here, they've got some early momentum, and now we're seeing UBC on the earlier back foot. It's something that, hey, you know what, they can play from the back foot okay. We've seen it, but now questions a little bit more pressing. The circumstances are a little bit more dire, and we're here with nothing left past this game. It all does come down to this.
That's why we're seeing a little bit more of aggression come out from these teams. Well, especially early on, we saw that aggression with the invade coming out from SFU. Got the first blood, but haven't gotten much else since then. They did get the they got the first turret. They got a kill in the mid lane, but it's still relatively slow going despite the gold lead. There's only Didago. He's been having the most effect. Boyru, not really doing so much. He's the only one with the kill thus far, but other than that, hasn't been able to attribute anything besides a Drake. Yeah,
and even that kill really was just due to a lot of overextension from Didango. I mean, they did turn it back around, and you know that's not the typical reactive play of the University of British Columbia. It was not excellent to be able to pull that kill out, especially when they'd already lost Luminous. But you do have to wonder too how much of that you just think did Didango misplay. With that, it's only 5 kills in the first 12 minutes of this game, gone down 4 now to Simon Fraser, 1 for the University of British Columbia. And resetting with that and building back up into, you know, the rest of the game. This is not an ocean to have to kind of overcome here. This is barely a puddle as far as the gold goes this early on, and the pendulum can and likely will swing back and forth a little bit more before this is all said and done.
We've seen that both times. We did just see the Rift Herald taken up. This is UBC taking that. Or SFU, I'm sorry.
Wants to find it. They're going to force the
that's
stopwatch
on the trouble bubble.
early. He flashes out of that one, but look at that one. Trouble Bubble and Hextech Ultimatum. The egg's on cooldown again, and look at this bad news for the Kane. He's going to live just by the edge of his ultimate, but they're both likely going to go down here. Boyru, with very few places to run. They're going to flash over the wall for him. That was 3 members of SFU, making sure he couldn't get out of that one alive. And nice headbutt from Regis there to make sure that Didango took a little bit there, and Set Maverick couldn't push the wave in time to get him out okay. But at the end of the day, it's still 2 more kills going into the favor of Simon Fraser University. The Rift Herald as well, freshly popped, freshly dropped. And they're going to pull this one now into the mid lane. Going to get themselves the 2nd tower of the game, as there's likely no opposition to be able to come out.
This is a lot more methodical play style from SFU. They're not overstepping. They're getting picks where they count, and they're taking turrets where they after those picks. It's they're making it look a lot easier than they had in game number 1 and game number 2, where it was a little bit more of aggression. This one, it's slow, methodical, but it's playing into their favor so well. They're just getting it. They're getting the picks very quickly, and then taking the objective very quickly and getting out. They're not overstepping. There's a lot of times that what we see happen in these games, or have happened in these games thus far today, is where there's an advantage. Overstepping happens. We saw it in game number 1 with the Baron. We're not going to see that now at 14 minutes, but overstepping is something that plagues the collegiate community, competitive community. Yeah. Something that SFU look like they are trying to control right now.
Little dodge over the wall there. Nicely done by
so
K-Shimey. And now here, look at this. Aelith and Mirror Knight in a duel for the ages, but Boyru says 1v1. How about a 2v1? I make this a little bit more fair for my boy Mirror Knight. They take that one out and away, get themselves another kill back on the board. That's going to feel pretty good. They need an answer to this Camille. She's 2-1-2 right now, and Shimey as well in some trouble. It's a nice stun connection. This is going to be the dead Zoe here after the Ignite does find its way in. Ruggis taking that one, so it's a 2-kill gain in 2 2v1s coming out now from the likes of University of British Columbia. Now they may be looking to try to salvage out their bot lane tower, but the ganks are coming down. Set Maverick was ready for this one, and Luminous is down there. He does not have the egg, and he is in a lot of trouble. Didango finds that kill. Mirror Knight was able to channel down, but Aelith has respawned since their last fight and is coming into this one. They're going to get the suppress to drag out Makoto, and the tower is going to go down too. Back as it's another pickup, and now with the Hextech Ultimatum, Boyru says, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. Takes out a kill onto Set Maverick, going to try to find a little bit more, but Ruggis is actually trying to make the peel happen here. May give up his life for that if they do flash over the wall. Aelith is right there. Didango still on the hunt, and now Mirror Knight, the last one, trying to get out. Does hop over with a very crafty counter-strike. And that should put a cork in things for the time being, but at what cost? I mean, this is potentially the blue buff down. This is a lot of jungle priority now for Simon Fraser in their enemy's jungle. They found a tower too, and this is only getting bigger of a gold lead. 5K at 15 minutes. Dragon's just coming up.
In the games previous to this one, every time that UBC, or SFU, I'm sorry, took a turret, UBC were able to answer back. They haven't been able to do that this time. It's 3 turrets to 0. And there's 1 Drake on the side of UBC, but it's not equating to too much right now. And if you keep them down this hard, it's not going to equate that much whatsoever.
Should get a second one here too.
Yeah, this is going to
be
the
way the flow is going here.
Yeah, they are prioritizing around it. Set Navik though, he's keeping everyone in check over here.
Shimey trying to get in just with that crafty in and out that is Zoe. They're trying to find a little bit more damage onto Boyru before they really start this one out in earnest. Dragon, no slouch in that department, is going to keep the health bar definitely in a constant state of attrition there, so they're moving and grooving along with that one, and they've pushed UBC back now into their own jungle, and look at this, they're just going to rotate up to the mid lane tower. This is a very crafty rotation coming out from Simon Fraser. They caught the likes. Oh, nice get over the wall. But
that's what I'm saying. Oh my god!
Maybe not!
Is he going to kill him?
He finds that one. Are you kidding me?
Holy god!
That's insane! The Ignite just on the edge of that Shimey. I mean, I underestimated it. I think you did too, but I mean, both of us. I definitely Boyru didn't see that one coming. He got over the wall. He's like, yeah, I'm out okay. Shimey said, don't be so sure. That's a Dragon picked up. Simon Fraser are just continuing to turn up the heat.
This is a dominant performance by Simon Fraser. Yeah, they're down 4. They've died 4 times, but that doesn't matter because they just picked up the Mountain Drake. They also have 4 turrets. Now they can prioritize this Baron pit. It's not even 18 minutes yet, so the Baron's not there, but they can prioritize it. They can put pressure around it, put their own vision
lay the framework.
Very much so. Looks like they are going to be doing that as they have both the inner mid lane turret down, which gives them so much more map control overall. Being able to bust out, blow open both the plot and the top side.
Yeah, crack it on down.
That's what they're doing very well. Like I said, a lot more of a methodical gameplay coming out from SFU, and they're doing it very well.
Yeah, with the Mountain Drake in their back pocket too, they're going to be feeling decently good about this one. They have a large tower lead already. Things like Baron and other Drakes on the board as well with that neutral objective control. Going to feel good. They might be looking for some neutral top lane control. Mirror Knight gone down again. The Hextech ultimatum is there. Boyru has decided to enter this fray and is happy to do it with the double knockup. That means Aleph flashing out of that one, actually, just buying some time for Set Naverick to get there. Does have the Glacial Fissure if that's an option, but knows that there's likely reinforcement on the way coming out from UBC. So they hold off a little bit until they can get Shiny and Erase there, both the real damage threats of this Simon Fraser composition. And they're just looking to get it at the right time here. I think they still want the fight. They just don't want to take it under the wrong circumstances. Without a flash now for Shiny, that's pretty rough.
This is UBC trying to compromise and get back into this game.
Yeah.
It's heavily out of their favor right now, but if they can get control over this Baron, that means they can still control the pace of this game, because the Baron is going to be the big objective coming up.
And SFU, decider in game one.
Yeah, SFU, they're not pulling the trigger yet. They don't quite have a loaded gun. It's still really early. Actually, no, it's getting to mid-game now. It was early when they started taking advantage and taking command, but thus far, SFU, they are still in control, especially gold-wise. They have the map pressure. It doesn't look like there's going to be that much vision established by UBC either.
They may not be fully loaded, but they keep chambering round after round. I mean, they really are.
They're pellets at this point.
Starting to heat up.
They start to hurt after a while.
Saving grace for University of British Columbia here. They do have that Infernal Drake that's going to help them scale out in the team fights. They as well have a pretty nasty team fight composition with everything that they can look to pull off here, and especially if they can separate this team fight. This composition can team fight well. It can pick really well, just with the Anivia and the Jax. And feeling good if it gets to that point.
And with the Anivia, they can keep the likes of SFU from picking them off, I should say, with the wall, the Anivia wall that
Baron's up now.
Yeah, Baron is up. And that's actually going to be prioritized already. Looks like SFU, they're already hovering around that one. They were completely ready.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're checking Zillow for prices every day. They don't want to move into that pit just yet, but they're certainly doing their research on the surrounding area. Make sure it's the right fit. Check the school district.
It's always good to know the area that you're going to be moving into, and that's exactly what UBC are trying to do, or SFU is actually trying to do, I should say. Seeing that a bunch of those UBC Knights are actually hanging around. I don't like those companies, so we're going to take some of them out before we move in.
I like it.
Now,
always be prepared.
Yeah.
Boy Scouts.
As we see the top lane going down to the bot lane now. This is something that you don't really need to do for SFU. I mean, you want to keep Mirror Knight from pushing. You want to keep UBC from taking a turret. That's the only reason why Aleph is down on the bot side right now, because he does have a teleport, but there's no tower to take. He's just keeping Mirror Knight at bay, making him make a choice. If Mirror Knight teleports up and Aleph wants to stay down, they're going to be losing a tower more than likely. Or he can just match them and match the power, because right now, SFU, they have enough item advantage to be able to win a 5v5 team fight right now.
Yeah, and looking at UBC, just the two members that they need to come online really have not. There's 0, 3, and 1 on the hands of Luminous. 0, 2, and 2 for Makoto. Neither of these guys have really been able to find that foothold. It's the Essence Reaver and the Roa, respectively for the AD and mid laner. And that's really just not a, hey, I'm online, I can fight point in the game.
Not at all.
Especially not considered there's a rapid fire cannon advantage and the Ludens topping for their counterparts.
Right, Mirror Knight does have the Triforce, and the Boyru has the Black Cleaver, but that's still not enough power in their favor, considering SFU. Some of them are already working on 2 items already. We see Erase, like you said, already has the rapid fire cannon in addition to that Essence Reaver, so already has a lot of power in his arsenal by himself. But you have the other members of SFU already working halfway toward their second item, which is, again, big power advantage over to SFU as they're establishing more and more vision control in and around the Baron pit. Maybe looking to take that one pretty quickly sometime soon, but they have to worry about the Drake as well. The Drake is going to be up in 35 seconds.
Yeah, certainly the one they want to take is it's another Infernal.
Right, there's the Infernal Drake. They want to keep that second Infernal away from UBC and also match them in power with that.
If they can get blow for blow, pound for pound on the Infernal, that's going to mean that their item advantage starts to mean a lot more, make a bit more of a difference here. They want to find Mirror Knight, but with a counter-strike, he hops out of that one. Meanwhile, Boyru as well says, hey, I can walk through walls. I'm not too worried. A la Nightcrawler style. Gets right out. The X-Man, not the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
I know you would.
Total difference.
And the Sleepy Trouble Bubble finds Regis here.
That
That's
is an
going to be
ultimate
the Braum
down.
passive as well. They want to find this, but look at that. The wall to hold things off means Didango was in some trouble. He gets the cane back over the wall with him, and Boyru will find the kill, but this likely means he's going to be in some trouble. Look at that. The Hextech Ultimatum. UBC's turning the fight around onto this one. Ava's still alive, but look at this. Erase has so much damage, and Makoto trying to get out, but will likely not as Aelith is there. This is the Camille they banned in the first game. Here's the reason why. Now Luminous with nowhere to go. The ace. The egg comes down, the passive, the dragon. This is all looking so good for Simon Fraser. They lose Didango and they lose Set Maverick. They say acceptable losses. We will continue marching this machine forward.
They had a great idea, trapping Didango over the wall. They had a nice Nivea wall, but with that being said, none of your members can now get over to Erase.
Assist, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be, that was a huge bane to them. Not able to take out the big damage carry, who just started pelting away, 406. And now in this game, a big power spike. He's the only one with 2 items on the side of SFU during that team fight. And if you can't get to him, then you don't have a team fight. That bottom inner tower, barely hanging on.
No,
it's going to fall. It is dead.
Meanwhile, the same can be said for Aelith.
Yeah.
Neither were present, but their destinies were intertwined. Oh,
so
man.
Poetic.
They are now stumbling around this bear, and they know that they have a little bit of time. Aelith does have the teleport when he comes back up, so they're not going to be too worried about setting up camp here. If they can find a pick as well, if they can get someone like Mirror Knight, who does not have the teleport dead, or even better, get Reggie
oh my God,
a heavy engager, and look at that. They pull Boyru right back into things, too. He'll buy a second of time with the ultimate. It does not matter. He is dead for sure. Erase is there, and he is dominating. Meanwhile, that was a kill now turned back over onto Shimey. Mirror Knight found that one, said courtesy of University of British Columbia, we're finding that one for ourselves. Look at the gold difference now, though, 44.7 to 38.7. It is a rough 6K gold disparity now for the likes of British Columbia.
That should be an easy Baron for Simon Fraser. Surprised they haven't already started it, honestly. They decided to go push into that mid lane. Also, pick up their area of effect in the jungle there.
They're not gonna death rush.
They are.
Oh,
I feel like they could have just taken the Baron here.
Yeah, I think they want to buy some time for Shimey, but I'm not entirely certain. They're very scared still of letting this get out from underneath them. Keep in mind, all the pressure's still on. If this, getting into the 25 minutes, an ace can turn the tide of everything, and if they give up the Baron, they potentially give up their shot at games tomorrow and their share of that $10,000.
Right, we are seeing the pressure. Game number 3 in a best of 3. SFU. I feel like they could have put the trigger, but they want to stay safe. They know they've had control of this game, so they can stay safe and get control just another time, just take it to UBC in another team fight. One that they maybe feel a little more comfortable going into. As they don't start up the Baron, they prioritize the Death Brush and some, some vision around the Baron pit, but not really much else going on there besides getting those kills. Definitely should have taken that Baron, but now they're going to just go back to sweeping the Baron, taking out as much wardage as possible. As we see sort of a reset coming out from SFU, and that is from SFU because they control this game.
They're happy to do it too. Aelith has the teleport. He's just returned to the split push. They have to send Luminous to deal with it because Mirror Knight does not have the split push. Luminous Egg likely still on cooldown from this last time around. So with that in mind, this is a very dangerous situation, and one I think that UBC are not going to be too happy about. SFU going to be fine to force this consistently. They may even decide to start up the Baron if they can get a pick. Keep in mind, Didango with the ultimate, we saw how fast even Ruggies, the strongest member, at least health-wise, the most durable rather, was able to endure. Just pushing out the waves.
Speaking of strongest member, Erase is 606 now. Ooh. Has an Infinity Edge, 3 items on his in his inventory right now. So if there is a fight that comes out from UBC, they have to prioritize him. But there is so much protection, not to mention the Feather Storm also keeping him protected.
Oh, they're going to go in for it. They find Boyru. They know he's the ticket to Baron. Erase is godlike, says this is no trouble for me at all. Aelith did not even need to teleport. He was so close by, he just roamed right up from the bottom lane, which will be resetting now in favor of University of British Columbia, but how long? Because look at this Baron. Mountain Drake, Infernal Drake, the damages are there. Shymi is on zone patrol, just securing the perimeter, and that is a huge pickup for Simon Fraser University. They are going to be 18-8, 50K gold to 42 right now. And now with the Baron, no tower's gone down for the opposing University of British Columbia yet. They're looking to just stretch this lead further and further and further.
This might be, honestly, this could be a final push. SFU are looking incredible right now as they go up onto the top side. They're going to take that one. That's no problem for them. Aleph, he's actually on the bot side. He's going to try to split push this. He's a little bit late to the party. Not going to use his teleport. Going to use that. Going to keep that just in case he needs to go to the top side.
You want to maximize those Baron minions.
Yes. And that's what they're planning on doing. As they do send Shymi into the mid lane.
The race goes back.
They're only going to take one turret and then head back.
Interesting indeed. So we'll see what they decide to pull out here for the remainder of this game. I mean, it's 29 minutes or thereabouts. And Baron pressure building up. We have another Drake coming on the table in about 45 seconds. That'll be the Cloud Drake. We do keep on this menagerie of all sorts of colorful elemental Drakes. Ocean Drake, been surprisingly absent from this entire series.
That's the first one seen. Actually, it was the first time we've seen the Infernal Drake until earlier this game, too.
It was all mountain and clouds, and so Infernal popped in around this game, and maybe we'll see something different for Robert Morris versus Illinois. What we might not see is much more of Boyru here. He's in some trouble. That Braum passive is going to make sure he gets stunned up, but the hill is there. No, erase legendary from this one, 8-0 and 6. And more to come. Look at that one. This is bad news for Makoto. Didn't stand a chance. And they have to reset the minion wave here, actually. I mean, look at where we are just in terms of these pushes. They're not doing the best job of wave control from Simon Fraser. And that's going to buy crucial seconds now for the remainder of University of British Columbia. But is it enough? This Baron's only a little bit more than halfway down, and so that's plenty more waves to come in. At least 5 or 6 waves of minions to come in and really create a lot of damage here onto this tower, and an inhibitor gone down for sure. Look at how quickly these things are dropping. Look at that.
There's no chance for UBC coming into they're trying to defend that inhibitor. They have to give that one up. And again, I'm actually surprised that SFU, they're not pushing more. I know Makoto is about to come up. I know Boyru just came up. Man, they have so much power and they're playing so laid back. There's a difference between overstepping your bounds and not asserting your authority enough. And I really feel like SFU, and props to them for being disciplined, but I don't feel like they're asserting authority enough because they have so much to assert here, and I think they're holding back. But be it as it may, it's equated to them a 10K gold lead at this point. With 7 turrets to 0, they're playing, again, very methodically, doing incredible against UBC.
You can tell they don't want to mess it up at this point, though. They've got such a huge advantage. And they just keep slow playing it. It's actually a very jarring thing to do from a spectator's perspective, just looking at this game the way it's going right now, to say, hang on, this should be, slamming closed very quickly. And instead, they're drawing it out. This is just to make sure that nothing goes awry. Look at the wards they drop right around the top side. There's 3 or 4 wards just hanging around there. I think that might be for a clutch teleport, if need be.
Alis still has teleport as well.
Maybe for something kind of like the backdoor, or maybe it was just a little bit of confusion around how they wanted to play out.
Speaking of holding on to something, Zet Naverick, I should say, still has one minion dematerializer in his arsenal just in case this game goes south, or just in case somebody on the side of UBC decides to build into a banner of command. Which I would like to point out, nobody on the side of UBC is fit for a banner of command. You can argue that Alistar is, but with that, you have to build other things in order to really supplement the power of Makoto and Luminous, and they're already having trouble doing that as it is.
Certainly not at 1, 4, and 3. That's where it becomes a little bit trickier now for the likes of the members of UBC. They're having a little bit of trouble just maintaining relevancy in this game. It kind of got away from him very quickly. I mean, just so much damage and power and pressure came down so quickly from the likes of Simon Fraser. It surprised UBC for sure. It surprised me. I bet it probably surprised Simon Fraser too, how well things were going. Hang on, wait, this is Okay, crazy, because
Well,
they take so much respect to University of British Columbia, and there was so much hype around these guys that now, looking like they're potentially about to be eliminated from the CSL semifinals here, this is a lot of pressure as we do get back into this game.
compared to game number 1 and game number 2, number 3, yeah, Simon Fraser has been dominating, but it is so, it's so calculated. And you're talking about how it might be even surprising them that it's going so well. I would agree because, neither team was this dominant in either of the games. And Erase, how much damage he can put out is phenomenal right now. He has 3 full built items. He has a Quicksilver Sash as well, not to mention a Zeal throwing out those auto attacks even more.
Inhib.
And they're getting the inhib. This is no Baron empowerment on these minions. They're just brute forcing this UBC's base now.
Well, it looks like they may have found a better foothold. They felt a little bit lost. They knew the objectives are there. They made these long plans to take them, but now we're starting to believe their own hype just a little bit. Nice shot over the wall almost, but not enough. And
shot through the heart almost.
This is becoming dangerous, dangerous territory for the University of British Columbia. Now Super Minions will be pouring in 2 lanes, almost looking to get that double up. The Anivia wall taking his time. That's going to be the Drowsy. Django maybe wanting to go in on this one. Didango, sorry. Trying to get down the tower is in some trouble. The inhibitor as well going to be the next thing to fall. We'll see whether or not this is going to be the takeaway. This is going to be potentially the end of the game because they get the red inhibitor, but they say, look, 3 inhibitors, it's time to just pour a little bit more minions into this one. Just make sure. Like, we know we're doing okay. Hang on, it's going fine, but could it be going better?
And they back off after that. Just to make
and the answer is no.
Make sure they can go a little bit better. Make sure they can get their faculties to take. They could have just brute force team fought there and won.
It's okay.
They're going to back off.
There's a lot on the line.
There is so much on the line. And this is the sort of discipline you need in game number 1 and game number 2.
Yes.
Going into tomorrow, something that they are practicing. So yeah, while I might chuckle at it now, it is great discipline by SFU and something that they need to display in all assets of competitive League of Legends, not just game number 3. I'm glad they're pulling it out here. They have full control of this game, but it might not be that way tomorrow in the finals. You know, if they're able to make it, I can say with 95% certainty they are going to. But you never know with that 5%. It could be tricky.
They've bought enough time actually for UBC that the Baron is on the table now.
Exactly.
And one Baron play can make or break a game, make or break a series, make or break a team. All come down to just that one play sometimes, and we will see whether or not this Baron is hotly contested because we know Simon Fraser are going to be looking for it. Just don't know if University of British Columbia are going to try to make that one last ditch. They may not even get a chance to, as Simon Fraser are jumping the gun a little bit on this engage. They're going to keep Kane down a little bit lower. He's going to be able to dash through. Boy, Rue trying to get out of that one in some fancy feet. Now Didango's actually in some trouble. Look at this. Luminous turning things around. That's going to be Mirror Nut. This is pretty big. Erase still alive. Okay, though. Erase, the last one, that's the one they need to really focus on, as Aelith is there as well. The double kill. They don't even find one. And that is huge. Look at those death timers. There's 40 more seconds on to Shiny and the rest of the crew. Aelith and Erase can definitely hold this one out, but they may have just given up the Baron.
For all of the times that I'm saying that they should just pull the trigger, they prove me wrong and say, this is why we're not pulling the trigger, Fekez. I'm going to show you what happens when we do, and UBC turns it around on them. Now, that being said, Erase and Aelith, they are two-manning this Baron. They're going to get it.
They had to. They absolutely had to in that situation because they could not afford to give Baron over to a team that just did that to them.
That is insane. As SFU, they are staying cool, staying confident. It looks like that they are going to just back up a little bit. Or, UBC are staying cool, staying confident. They're going to back up. They're going to, they're not going to get the Baron. It is going to only be on, I believe, 3 members of SFU right now.
Was it 3? I thought it was just the 2.
May have just been the 2, honestly. But either way,
one and Erase for sure.
1 is enough at this point to be able to pour those minions into the base of UBC. There's only 2 inhibitors down right now. The first one just came back up. Just a hint of breathing room for UBC right now.
They need it. They're gasping for oxygen still. That last fight, I'm sure, pumped a little bit of revitalization into their veins. It still only net them 3 kills. That's not a comeback. Not yet. Could be. Would be very exciting to see. We'll see whether or not that's still on the table here, but Elder Drake, the next thing potentially in the eyes of Simon Fraser here. They do want to find it, thinking maybe that's the ticket to propel themselves into the finals. Maybe that's what they need. And it looks like it probably won't be too hotly contested, especially with a Mountain Drake at their back. They should be able to chew through this thing very quickly.
They have 3 Drakes on their side already. Having this Elder Drake is going to mean that UBC stands absolutely no chance in team fights. It is going down so quickly.
They didn't even contest it from the University of British Columbia. They still had lanes to police, and maybe it just wasn't on the forefront of their minds. They had to have known, right?
Yeah, if they're all gone, the Drake's up. You know they're there. There's no vision. There's no chance for UBC to put any vision outside of their base, so they have to just assume that they're there.
Second inhib's back up.
That is the mid lane inhibitor. Top lane up has been up for a second. Bot lane, the only one down for UBC.
And that's in a couple seconds here.
And they're still doing this split push from Aelith because he does have the Baron. Let's not forget that one. Luminous has his Banshee Veils popped, which is going to be huge if this gets into a team fight. But really, SFU, they don't need to win a team fight right now. They just need to get objectives, but they may go for more than that anyways.
Oh man, super minions are pouring in there. Baron up, another inhibitor being the focus of Aelith on that top side. It's split out just by a little bit. Shimmy with that spare flash. We'll see what they want to do. The first Nexus tower goes down. They might be looking to push out a little bit more here. An inhibitor came up in the bot lane. They're trying to reset to take that one. They want to make sure they can make it happen, but the fight is breaking out. Regis is wanting to get in onto the middle of things. Mirror Knight is jumping in, but the Braum passive is on him. Can Shimmy make this one happen? He puts him to sleep. The stun up timing is looking to race. He's popping off on the back line. Luminous is having a lot of trouble as well. The egg is down, and so are the hopes and dreams of the University of British Columbia. They do it. Simon Fraser come in feeling like underdogs, but leaving top dogs potentially for this final. They pull it off, ladies and gentlemen, and win 2v1 over the University of British Columbia.
And just like in College League of Legends, in Varsity JV1 CSL, SFU, they topple UBC. Game number 3, pulled everything together.
Oh my goodness.
Pulled everything together. Played a very slow and methodical game, but it was all into the favor of SFU.
Yeah, absolutely. SFU really turned up the heat when they needed to. Game number 2 didn't look like their best effort. Game number 3, Erases 13-0-7. Only 5 kills happened for his team that he did not participate in.
Out of an almost 39-minute game.
Popped off. I think if you're RMU, if you're Illinois, and you make it through to tomorrow, you're looking at this thing, okay, you know what? He's not getting Zaya.
No, there was too much escapability for him. He was able to use Featherstorm. He had protection with the Braum. He had a front line with Dango and Braum. Yeah, there were so many targets to hit on the side of SFU that whenever you get to that point where you have the power, that means, again, there's just so much that you can use to be able to distract yourself. So UBC, they could go after Erase, but he has Featherstorm. Don't worry about him. Go after Aelith. Go after Shimmy. But then you have Erase just popping off in the back lines, not being able to be stopped. And when you have a front line with Regis on the front, Ruggis on the front line, it's going to get melted because you haven't touched Erase this entire game, and now he's built up and extremely powerful.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, this California sun sets onto the University of British Columbia. Simon Fraser lived to fight another day, and will be coming through to the finals tomorrow, where they will square off against the winner of Robert Morris University versus University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, or rather Urbana-Champaign at Illinois. It's a little bit of a flip-flop around. It's a mouthful all the same. We're going to see those two square off. I know it's scheduled for about 3 p.m. We're running 25 minutes over, and we're going to take a little bit more time in between these series just to make sure that all the peripherals and the breakdown and the setup goes smoothly. Obviously, plagued by pauses a little bit today.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't see that continuing into the next series or tomorrow.
Seems like all the equipment is working. It's kind of like cooking, especially if you use you want to fry something. So you have to flip it. Sometimes that first flip is never good. It's always kind of like a pancake rule. That first pancake is never going to be good as number 2.
Yeah.
It's because you got the coating on the pan. It's kind of how it is. We got everything worked out here. Game number 2, or match number 2, I should say, should be a lot better.
Hopefully that
I hope
is
everyone
the
fell up.
case.
I hope everyone kept up with that, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be trying to get a player interview. We're going to wrangle somebody up at some point for that. But before we do, we're going to be kicking it on over to a break. So once again, my name is Kyle Corvus Crow. I'm joined at the desk today and all weekend by Joshua Fekes Quest. We have more League of Legends action coming up for you, as well as a post-game interview with someone from the victorious Simon Fraser University. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. We've swapped out Joshua Feck's quest to grab a couple words with Erase, the victorious ADC of Simon Fraser University. What a game number 3.
Yeah, it was, I would say close because I actually felt that they had a lot of pressure on us.
Sure.
So then we had to do really small rewards to try to snowball the lead to get into what we call a victory.
I can tell it looked a little slow at points there. Just, okay, we've got the inhibitors, but now we're backing off. Okay, we got the Baron, but now we're backing off. And, you know, never just driving it on home. You, in particular, had a bit of a breakout game here. We have it on the screen. 13-0-7, 366 CS. That's 19,000 gold. The next closest member on your team had 16,000.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they were funneling resources into you, or are you just that good that you were popping off kind of throughout?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Actually, our game plan wasn't even around me. It was more so around our top side.
Yeah, with the
top side
Camille.
of the map, right? So then basically I was just doing what I usually normally do, just catch the sideways, push the sideways out, catch the CS, and then I just never died in team fights.
Interesting. Okay, so you normally had Rakan supporting you throughout the series. You switched Set Maverick onto Braum there. He had a better game protecting you. Is that something you were saving that as kind of a secret weapon, or was that, oh no, we don't have Rakan, let's go to plan B, and it just worked out better?
Oh man, no. For my sports set Maverick, this man is actually the straight beast on Braum. This guy, insane stuns, insane shields. He basically won the lane for me. Those Qs just come through, hit the ADC free.
Very glad to hear that. So let's take a look back then at yesterday and some of the talk I heard about this UBC team, and that, hey, they were maybe favorites to win it all, and a lot of people were putting a lot of respect onto these guys in particular. I know you said you scrimmed them a lot. That wasn't always necessarily the most favorable scrim record.
Yeah.
Are you in any capacity surprised at the results of this game?
For me personally, I think with all the effort that we put into like practice and stuff, I think that we could have beat UBC. Like, this is like, we played really well today, just compared to them. We honestly played just so well as a unit, and all the practice that we came up to this point, it showed right here. And I think against UBC, I'd honestly give it, like, before the game, I was giving it 55-45 to us. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta give it a little bit of confidence, you know?
Of course, of course. Okay, so that's looking back. Now looking ahead. We have one more set of games today. It's going to be Robert Morris University versus University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, or Urbana-Champaign at Illinois. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with either of those teams?
We've scrimmed Illinois once, and then that was just basically it. RMU, we have basically no info on.
Okay. So if you had to give a prediction, you're not really sure on either one?
I'd give it Illinois. Could I say the score too?
Sure.
I say 2-0.
You think 2-0?
Yeah.
Illinois with the 2-0. Okay, well, by that line of reasoning down the line, that means you are next playing Illinois tomorrow for all of it, a 3-game series. Any thoughts on that? You feeling confident as well after today? This win pumping you up and giving you the energy you need, perhaps?
Yeah, it feels like we got a really big boost of momentum from this series, honestly, because we just needed to know that we could beat these guys, and then I think our team will have this gigantic boost of confidence. So for the Illinois series, we'll have a few pocket picks.
A few pocket picks indeed. Well, we're going to stop there before any crazy secret strategies get released. Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, I am Kyle Corbisco. I've been joined by Erase today, the victorious, even dominant AD carry at a scoreline of 13-0-7 for his last game. Congratulations on your victory here today. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into all the more action with another series, Robert Morris University versus Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Thank you.